correspondent in Zambia now for the very latest, Davies Sikopo. Arthur, a very good afternoon to you. So, of course, we know that the polls opened at 6 a.m. this morning. We understand that already numbers were, out in the polls as early as 3 a.m. Give us the latest on the ground now as Zambians continue to cast their ballots.
Yes, indeed. So the poll gets opened as good as 06, but obviously we had a number of people that had lined up as good as 03 hours in the morning just to ensure that they cast their votes early. So right about now, in fact, in the morning, I think the situation was very calm, and it is still calm even now. We had long queues in the morning, but I think now, according to the polling stations where I've touched now, the queues have reduced now. Right about now, I'm at one of the polling stations in Roma constituency, which is just within Lusaka. The queues were quite long early in the morning, but this time around they've reduced, and people are voting peacefully and all that. I think from the polling stations that I've visited, no incidences have been recorded, except for I think for one incident at another polling station where I was, where one of our colleagues was slapped by political cadres for one of the candidates. Reasons are not yet known, but that was, I think, the only incident that at least I witnessed early in the morning. But I think in most of these places the situation is quite calm in Lusaka.
All right. So, I mean, I don't know how much of the previous clip that you've been listening to. It's nice to see that there are so many young first-time voters. What are they telling you about, just their expectations and some of their concerns? We know that, of course, out of the 22 million Zambians, 8 million had registered to vote for these elections.
Yes, so there are a number of young people that are casting their votes at this particular time, including first-time voters. So their expectations mostly are, jobs. The expectations mostly are also to do with, education, and just for them, obviously, to have a good life according to them. We have witnessed incidences where I think about 20 people who these were young voters who were missing in the voters register at a polling station. In fact, at the polling station where I am right about now, we had about 20, and we interviewed a few of them. Some of them were first-time voters, but and they couldn't find their names in the voters roll. But according to them, they had verified and even had the online verification with them. So those are some of the incidences that at least I have witnessed from the young people. But obviously the anxiety is quite high in the young people, especially for first-time voters. They're hoping for the best in terms of the candidate, obviously, that they will vote for or that they have voted for already.
Yeah, and just in terms of those incidences that you have seen, at least, are you able to tell us at this point in time what the election observers and even political parties themselves are saying about just the conduct of the polls so far?
So for the election observers, we just had, in fact, the COMESA deputy chief of the mission, observer mission, who was visiting this particular polling station. I think from her perspective, everything was going on well. I think according to what she has observed so far, though she wanted to give a conclusive report, and they wanted to give a conclusive report later in the day. But from the polling station that she had visited, I think she says that everything, I think, is going on very well according to their observation. According to their observation, and obviously what they have seen on the ground, and what obviously is obtaining.
All right, Arthur, let's leave it there for now. But thank you so much for that update. Of course, Davies Sikopo,
thank you so much,
our correspondent on the ground in Zambia, monitoring those voting stations as Zambians head to the polls today. Some queuing as early as 3 a.m. this morning.
Channel Africa is evolving.